Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Nick Cosgrove and I'm back with this week's No Filter Q&A. This is the episode where I answer all questions related to diet, training, and supplementation that I received over the last 7 days from our in-house clients, online clients, as well as a few of our online followers. Remember, if you have any questions related to your nutritional plan, workout program, supplements you're taking, not taking, considering taking, please feel free to email me those questions at nick@foreverfitperformance.com, or you can DM me your questions on my Instagram at @fitcosgrove_. Okay, so let's get started with this week's No Filter Q&A with question number 1. Hi, Nick. I was out of the gym for 2 weeks fighting off some kind of virus. I'm still feeling weak, but think I can train again. Should I train with less volume and less weights for my first workouts back? I just don't want to get run down again. This is where it really comes down to, again, listening to your body. So should you go with less weights? Probably. You haven't trained in 2 weeks. So your muscle bellies are going to be a little bit sore and tight. Your glycogen receptors are going to be depleted. So it would make sense to go a little lighter in the gym. Should you reduce the volume? Again, that's going to depend on how you're feeling and how well you're recovered. A lot of times people come back from a 2-week, 3-week layoff from the gym and they feel better. But if you're still feeling like you're a little run down, maybe cut your workout in half. Instead of doing, like say you're doing a chest day, instead of doing 6 exercises for chest, maybe just do 3 exercises for chest. Instead of doing a 45-minute workout, just do a 30-minute workout just to get your muscles moving again. But again, this will really be case dependent because it depends on how severe the illness was and how you're feeling on your way back to the gym. So you really have to listen to your body. I agree that you don't want to overdo it. You don't want to over push yourself because chances are your immune system is still compromised. So it's not good just to come back into the gym and start going super heavy and then super high volume, and then you run yourself down again and you get sick all over again. So generally when I have someone who's out for a few weeks, whether it's because of an injury or whether it's because of illness, I ease them back into the workouts and I just kind of play it by how their body's responding to the session. Like I said, some people come back, they're fine. Other people take a little bit longer to come back into a workout regime. And then so we have to ease them back into it. And sometimes that does mean taking the weights down, taking the volume down, right? Taking the intensity down. But you have to remember that it's only going to be for a short period of time. So rather than try to rush it back, I would take things slow. Again, not baby yourself, but at the same time, you have to remember that your body's not a machine. So you have to really ease yourself back into the gym so that you don't injure yourself or you don't make yourself worse. So my recommendation would be to listen to your body, reduce the volume. Yes. Like I said, if you're doing a 45-minute workout, maybe take it down to 30 minutes, finish with some light cardio, some stretching. If someone lifts fairly heavy weights in the gym, maybe take that down by 15, 20%. Again, don't baby yourself, but listen to your body, ease yourself back into the gym again. And just make sure this should go without saying, but make sure your nutrition is checked, because the only way that you're going to recover faster from your workouts and train more efficiently in the gym is if you're back on track with your workouts. Chances are, if you were sick, you probably weren't eating the same amount of food that you were eating when you trained. So your body is very depleted right now. So it's important to get your nutrition in check so you can get back into the gym again and start training with the utmost amount of intensity, heavy weights, and high volume. All right, next question. Hi, Nick. My RMT recently charged my account for having to cancel on her the day of the appointment. She never told me she has a 24-hour cancellation policy, or else I would have still come in for my massage. Do you think I should say something to her or let it go? I'm feeling a bit annoyed about it. This comes down to a lack of communication. And I've heard stories like this before, not just with RMTs, but with other personal trainers who have this cancellation policy that they never tell anyone about. It is of the utmost importance in any profession, if you have a cancellation policy, that you make it clear to everyone, your staff, your clientele base, that you have a 24-hour cancellation policy or a 48-hour cancellation policy, whatever that is, and it's enforced regardless of the situation, unless that person has a doctor's note, right? For example, we have a cancellation policy. It's a 24-hour cancellation policy. It's listed on our website. Any new client that signs up to work with us, they get an email explaining our cancellation policy, why we enforce our cancellation policy. And again, the only way that you will not be charged for any missed sessions is if you provide us with a doctor's note. Emergencies come up, but the problem is when you're in a service industry, you make money on the service you are providing. So if someone cancels or doesn't show up for that 1 hour or half an hour or 45 minutes, the person who is seeing you, whether it's an RMT or physiotherapist or personal trainer, is not going to get paid for that hour. That's an hour they're missing out on another client. So that's why we enforce a cancellation policy. It's fair for the trainer. And 24 hours is a reasonable time frame, to give people. Like I said, emergencies do come up, but unless we have a doctor's note, we have to charge the client. So, what I would say in this situation is, hey, you didn't communicate your cancellation policy. I don't think it's right that you're charging me, because A, it's not listed on your website, or B, I never got an email telling me about this cancellation policy. At the same time, though, you have to understand from the RP's perspective, that person is only getting paid for that hour that you're sitting or you're laying on their massage table. So by you canceling day of, that doesn't really give her enough time to fill the time slot. So now she's going to miss out on that hourly pay. So I see both sides, but this really just comes down to lack of communication again. And it's so simple. It's so simple just to put up a cancellation policy on your website. Make sure all your clientele, all your staff know about this cancellation policy, so issues like this don't come up. So I think this is really on the RMP if they didn't communicate this with you properly. So it's something I would bring up with them, but at the same time, understand where that person is coming from, because they only get paid when they're seeing you on that table or that time slot is filled. So if you cancel and you don't pay them, that's an hour that they could have filled, right? Potentially filled. So it does make sense that they would charge you, but I would question as to why she did not, or he did not provide you with that information when you signed up to work with them. So I'd bring it up and just ask them, why didn't you let us know about your cancellation policy? And maybe it is on the website, but again, it's the professional's job to disclose that information to you and make you aware of it, whether that be in written format in an email or could be verbal. But I really don't like telling people things verbally like that. I like to have it in writing so they can say, hey, you never told me that. I'll say, well, yes, I did. Go back to your emails. You don't have that email. Here, I sent you this email with our cancellation policy on this date when you signed up to work with us. It says you received it. So therefore, at least you're covered as a professional saying that, yeah, I did tell you about our cancellation policy, and it is listed on our website. So it all comes down to communication. Next question. Hey, Nick, do you train clients at your gym in the evening after 4 p.m.? I get off work at 3:30 during the week and would like to start working out with you. I do train clients in the late afternoons. It's part of my after-hour packages. So my after-hour rates are a little different than my regular rates. If you'd like more information on my after-hour sessions, just email me at nick@foreverfitperformance.com. I usually will do my after-hour sessions on Tuesday evenings from 3 p.m. till 6 p.m. and Thursday evenings from 3 p.m. till 6 p.m. So those rates are a little bit different than my regular rates because they are after hours. So I generally work on the floor from 7 a.m. in the morning till about 1 p.m. in the afternoon. And then I'm online for the remainder of the day, except for Tuesdays and Thursdays, where I do work with clients in-house from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. So I can work with you during those time slots, but you just have to email me and I'll send you all my information on my after-hour sessions, my after-hour packages. And yeah, we can put something together for you and start working together. Maybe I think my roster might be full for October, but November. So message me. You can DM me on Instagram or send me an email. And I'll forward you over all my information with regards to my after hours training packages. Okay. Hi, Nick. Is fish a better protein source to use instead of chicken and beef? It's so much more expensive and I don't really like the taste of most fish. So from a micronutrient perspective, yes, in my opinion, fish is a better quality source of protein than both chicken breasts and beef, whether that be lean ground beef or flank steak or filet mignon or even bison. It's a better, cleaner source of protein. And that's also why it's more expensive. Okay, it's very light, it's very easy to digest. A lot of people have problems, including myself, digesting beef, right? I know some people who can't stomach chicken. So fish is a great protein source. But yeah, fish can be fairly expensive. So if you're working on a budget, it's probably not the most cost-effective option for you. So with that being said, chicken and beef are still great sources of protein. My recommendation, though, and I mentioned this before, when it comes to beef, is to limit your beef intake to no more than two times a week, 3 max. But you have to remember, beef is very hard on the digestive tract. So that's something you have to watch. So my recommendation is to try to consume the majority of your, if you're a meat eater, you should consume the majority of your proteins through lean sources of meat, chicken breast, turkey breast, ground turkey. And then, yeah, you have your fish, you have your cod, you have your tuna, you have your tilapia. Salmon is a good fatty protein source. So that's where I would get the bulk of my protein from meat sources. And if you're a vegetarian, of course, you could go the route going for beans, lentil, eggs, etc. So it's not that fish is necessary. I have a lot of people that don't even like fish, so I don't put it on their plans. But if you're asking me from a micronutrient perspective, I do believe that fish is the highest quality form of protein when it comes to your meats. So that's why it's more expensive. It's a better quality form of food, right? So hopefully that answers your question. Do you need it? No. But if you're not working for budget and you do enjoy fish, my recommendation would have fish at least once a day, because it is very good for you. And like I said, I would stick to, when it comes to your fish, your white fish, I'd stick to things like cod, tilapia, tuna, and your red fish, snapper, trout, salmon. Those are great options. Okay. Next exercise. Next question. Hi, Nick. I just started doing the cable rope upright rows from your shoulder workout and really feel them in my traps. Just curious what you think about doing this exercise with the barbell, as well as I don't see it in your exercise videos. So what this person's referring to is my shoulder workout on my online coaching app, which you can download on the App Store, Forever Fit Performance. And it includes videos of all my workouts. And there's workout programs there that you can use: shoulder workouts, chest workouts, back workouts, leg workouts, or I can customize a workout program for you specifically based on your goals, lifestyle, activity level, training level, and go pretty much customize the program specifically for you. So with that being said, with the shoulder routine that you're referring to, yeah, I'm a huge advocate when it comes to doing upright rows of doing them with a cable as opposed to doing them with a barbell. Problem with doing it with a cable upright row for barbell, you're in a fixed position. So you're putting a lot of strain on your rotator cuffs by doing this movement. The great thing with doing a cable upright row, preferably with a rope, it doesn't have to be with a rope, but I prefer people use a rope, is it allows you to dictate the movement. So your rotator cuffs can move more freely. So it allows you to increase mobility and flexibility in both the anterior deltoid, medial deltoid, posterior deltoid, but most importantly, the trapezius and the rhomboids. So I find when doing upright rows with a cable using a rope, it's much more effective than doing it for barbell. That's not to say you shouldn't do barbell upright rows. It's just I wouldn't advise it. It's a very old school movement, and it does put a lot of tension on the rotator cuffs because you are in a fixed position, so you can't really dictate the movement. And bringing your shoulders up like this is already fairly, I shouldn't say dangerous, but it does compromise your shoulders to some extent because you're putting them in an unnatural plane of motion for a short period of time. So at least if you're doing that with a cable, you can dictate the movement. You can control the movement more freely. With a barbell, you can only control it to a certain extent because it's fixed. It doesn't move. The cable allows you to move independently, each shoulder independently. So I would advise you stick with the cable upright rows. Again, I'm not saying barbell upright rows are a bad exercise, but if you were to look at the risk to benefit ratio, there's far more risk to doing barbell upright rows than benefits. So why not switch it out for an exercise that we know, or that for the most part, most people don't get injured doing rope upright rows. I've never had anyone injure themselves doing a rope upright row. And it's an exercise that you can control the weight and you can actually feel the exercise more, like you said. So I wouldn't do barbell upright rows, and that's why they're not included in the online coaching app as one of the exercises. I just don't believe in doing them. I don't think they're effective. To me, they're not a good exercise, but I don't want to say that they're a bad exercise. It's just something that I wouldn't personally do just because, again, the risks outweigh the benefits. Okay, next question. Hi, Nick. I just started lifting weights this summer and I'm enjoying it so far. My friend tells me that I will get better results if I clean up my diet, though. He says results are 80% diet and 20% training. Is he right? He's right about cleaning up your diet. Diet is crucial. Absolutely. If you have a clean diet, it's definitely going to make your results not only appear quicker, but you're going to feel better in the gym. You're going to have more energy. You're going to feel stronger. So if you're following a good nutritional plan, absolutely, you're going to get better results. But the whole 80% diet and 20% training, I've heard that for years. I'm sure many of you watching this have heard that before. I don't believe that. No, I believe when it comes to nutrition and training, they go hand in hand. So it's 50-50. You know, you've heard that saying, you cannot train a shitty diet. That's true. But even if you're following a really good diet and you're not going to the gym, you're not going to really build muscle. Your muscle needs to be stimulated by resistance. So the two go hand in hand. You can't really have one without the other. So I think for people who are in the gym who are following a shitty diet, will they get results? Yes. But I think they'll get better results and much better results if their diet is in check for the most part. And as I said, at least 90% coming from clean, wholesome foods. If you're following a clean diet, but you're not in the gym training weights, you'll be a lot more healthy, absolutely, because you're feeding your body proper nutrients, vitamins, and minerals, but you're not really doing anything as far as exercising your muscle belly. So you're not going to build a great physique. You're going to have a healthy physique, but aesthetically, you're not going to really build on that solid, lean, dense muscle. So the two really do go hand in hand. But I would strongly advise you, if you are lifting weights consistently, that you clean up your diet and you make sure that your diet is in check, because I promise you, you will notice that your results, they become enhanced. And not just physically, but you feel better mentally and you just feel better overall in the gym. You have more energy. I've noticed this a lot of times when I have someone sign up to work with me, whether it's online or in the gym, just for the workout programs. And then after a few months, they start to ask me questions about diet. And slowly, sometimes some people take longer than others, but slowly we start to incorporate more healthy foods into their diet and start eliminating those crap foods. And all of a sudden, their waist gets trimmer, their arms get bigger, their shoulders get a little bit more dense, a little more defined, and they really start to see the results. So my recommendation is, if you're going to train in the gym and you want to enhance your results, make sure you're following a clean diet plan. Okay. I promise you that you're not going to regret it. You're going to, no, like I said, you're not going to see the results, but you're going to feel the results. You're going to feel the changes in your body. So you two go hand in hand, 50-50. There's no 80-20. Hey, Nick, what do you think about women's only sections at commercial gyms? There's one at my gym, and I don't think it's fair that women get to use the entire gym while men only get to use 3/4 of the gym. I honestly didn't know that commercial gyms still have women's only sections. But I can see as to why some women would prefer to have their own sections in the gym. I mean, I train a lot of women. I train a lot of younger women who, when they've gone to commercial gyms, they do get approached by men quite often. So it's hard for them to work out. Even if they have their earphones on, guys still approach them. They want to talk to them. They want to ask them out. So, if you're someone who's trying to go into the gym and you just want to train, that can be quite annoying, right? So I can see from that perspective as to why a lot of women might want to have their own section in the gym. So I just didn't know that commercial gyms still had them, but I can see why. And other times there are probably still some women out there who do feel somewhat intimidated training with the guys, especially if they're new to the gym, right? Most women I train with, they could care less if the guys are in the gym with them or not. But if someone's new to the gym and they're already a little intimidated, it might be hard going into the weight pit where you've got a bunch of 250-pound bodybuilders lifting and grunting heavy weights, right? And you've never lifted weights before. So I can see it from that perspective as well. I think the days of women's only gyms are done. But the women's only sections, I mean, I don't work in commercial gyms. I'm not really for or against them. I understand why they're there. Again, I work in a private training facility and we do co-ed group classes all the time. So it's never an issue. It's never been an issue with us. But I guess I can see from a public gym perspective, where you have a whole bunch of different people coming in, why that might be necessary. So I do understand it. And, at the end of the day, you get 3/4 of the gym, that's still a lot of gym space to use, right? So I think, personally, I think it's fine. I don't see an issue with it. I don't know any women that would really care if they were training with guys or not. But again, I don't work in commercial gyms. So I can see why, though, some women would prefer to train around other women, are just more in a private setting and not around a bunch of guys who, again, are going to approach them, ask them out, try to make small talk with them, or like some guys do, just stare at them inappropriately in the gym. Because that happens a lot too. I've had a lot of female clients tell me over the years that whenever they trained at commercial gyms, they just have guys just staring at them, ogling them. So not all guys, but there are some creepy guys out there, right? So again, I can see as to why those private women's only sections are in place. I'm not for or against them, though. I mean, whatever. How much space do they really take up? You say 1/4 of the gym, you still got 3/4. So stop complaining or join a gym that doesn't have a women's only section. All right. Next question. Nick, I have a really hard time with motivation. What can I do to stay motivated with the gym and my diet? Hire a personal trainer, join a group fitness class, work out with a friend or family member that you know will hold you accountable. Okay. It's so important because yes, you could watch all the motivational videos on YouTube, or you could read the motivational books or the self-help books, all these things. But I think the best way to stay motivated is to have accountability. All the shows I ever competed for, I always had a training partner with me. That kept me accountable for my workouts. There were times I did not want to go to the gym, but knowing I was meeting someone that was relying on me to show up, I had made an appointment with that person. I didn't want to let that person down. I didn't want to screw up his or her day. Right. So the accountability is huge. So that's why a lot of people hire personal trainers, because they know that they will talk themselves out of going to the gym. They know after a long day of work, they can easily say, you know what, I've worked hard today. I'm going to go home. I'm not going to go to the gym today. But if they're going for a session with their trainer that they've already paid for, they're more likely to show up regardless if they don't want to be there. So if you're finding problems with motivation, my recommendation would be to, like I said, hire a personal trainer, hire a coach. If you can't afford to work with a trainer in person, maybe hire an online coach that you can work with them online. So they'll still keep you accountable with weekly check-ins, bi-weekly check-ins, revisions to your programs, so that it is holding you accountable. Online coaching does work. I have a lot of people who work with me throughout North America, and they really find that working with me on my coaching app, it really helps them stay accountable for the workouts, because they know I'm checking to make sure they're getting their workouts in every day. They know that I'm doing their bi-weekly check-ins with them to make sure that they're staying on track. So it's just that extra source of motivation to get them to the gym and stay on track with their diet. So having a trainer really does help, okay? And honestly, that's really the number one reason why most people hire personal trainers, is for the accountability. Yeah, a lot of people don't know what they're doing and they want to learn how to work out, so they'll hire a trainer. But what you'll find is a lot of people stay with their trainers because they realize they're getting a more efficient and effective workout from working with a professional who will hold them accountable and teach them how to execute exercises properly in the gym so they can learn proper form and technique. Okay, so that's what I would do. If you're struggling with motivation, hire a trainer, hire an online coach, or if you have someone that is not only just a friend or family member, but someone else who is going to actually hold you accountable, and they themselves are not going to miss a workout or talk themselves out of a workout. Because you don't want to hook up with a friend or a family member who is, lacks motivation as well, because that's a bad dynamic. You guys will never, you guys will both talk each other out of going to the gym. So if you're going to train with someone, just make sure the person you're training with is consistent and dedicated to going to the gym. And that's what I did for years. And honestly, I attribute my success on the stage to a lot of the training partners I had over the years, because without them, there are workouts I would have missed. There's cardio sessions I would have skipped. There's times I probably would have cheated on my diet. So it did hold me accountable. So if you're lacking motivation, look for the accountability through either an in-house personal trainer, join a small group fitness class, work with an online coach, or get a training partner through a friend or family member. All right, last question. Nick, I've been working with my trainer for over 8 years now. In the last year, though, I feel as if she's not really into training people anymore. She's canceled on me 3 times this month. When she does train me, she gives me the same workouts in the same week, so I have to remind her of what we did in the last workout. Lately, she's been starting our sessions late and finishing early. I really like her as a friend, but don't think I can train with her anymore. How would you recommend leaving your coach of 8 years? You have to have the tough conversation, right? I mean, this is the problem I see when coaches and clients become friends. I like to have friendly relationships with my clients, but I wouldn't necessarily say that I'm their friend. I'm their coach. I'm their trainer. They have friends, right? It's important to keep the relationship professional to some degree. And that's what I try to do with every single person I work with, whether it's in person or online, okay? And the reason I do that is I don't ever want to get too comfortable with my clients where I can be like, I can just sleep in. I'm just going to cancel on this client today. He'll understand. He's my buddy. No. He is my client. He's paying for a service. He is paying me to show up, or he or she is paying me to show up and hold them accountable for that workout. As a trainer and coach, if I can't hold myself accountable for their session, how the hell are they going to hold themselves accountable? Okay. So that's number one. And, when you work in this industry, that, people are hiring you, as I mentioned in the previous question, for the accountability component. Okay? They're hiring you for your expertise. If you're no longer providing the accountability and you're no longer providing that expertise and that professional service, why the hell would the client want to stay with you? Right? Because you're friends? So no, I would never want someone staying with me because they feel bad letting me go. I've had clients that have left me in the past and they've come back. I've had clients leave me in the past that have not come back, right? But I can honestly say, and I truly believe this, it's never been because of a lack of professionalism or a lack of accountability on my part, right? Sometimes it's budget related. Sometimes people just want to go off on their own. Sometimes people are just tired of going to the gym and just they're done. So it's never been something that I feel that I've done to them, right? In this case, it sounds as if your trainer is burnt out. Sounds as if your trainer is 1 foot in, 1 foot out. And this happens a lot in this industry and other industries. It happens in industries like real estate, right? You have real estate agents who they get burnt out. They don't want to do this job anymore. You get hairdressers, they get burnt out. They don't want to do it anymore. So in all these industries that are service-based, like personal training, physiotherapy, a lot of times what happens is you do get tired, you do get burnt out, and then your service starts to go. I noticed that years ago when I was working 12 hours a day on the floor that my last 2 or 3 sessions, I just wasn't giving it my all. And that's why I started to cut down my hours on the floor and provide more hours online so I could give the best sessions I possibly could in a shorter time frame, but I had lots of energy for the follow-up day. So as opposed to working 12 hours on the floor, I'd work maybe 6 hours on the floor. Yeah, I had to cut back on sessions and lose a few clients, but I was able to provide a better service. So therefore, I was able to increase my rates. So from a profit margin, I wasn't making less money. And then I was able to transition to doing online later on in the day. So I didn't burn out. So I could do 2 different types of training styles and still remain fresh for all my clients. So it sounds to me like your trainer is burnt out. And it sounds to me as if she's not into it anymore, like you said. So at that point, it's like, well, what are you paying for? I mean, if you're having to remind your trainer of what you did the previous workout, that's not good. Okay, something's wrong there. So if that trainer is not at least recording your previous workout or has an idea of what you did on your previous workout, that's a conversation that needs to be had. Okay. And, if you guys are friends, you don't want to ruin the relationship, my recommendation is just to tell them just that. You don't want to ruin your friendship, but you just feel like you need to move on from the training relationship. And if she doesn't understand that, I mean, then that's on her. But honestly, I think that's just a tough conversation that needs to be had. And if that were me as a client and I was paying for a service that I wasn't getting, I just wouldn't stay. I mean, I would have the conversation, explain to the person why I'm no longer wishing to work with them. And, if the person says, you know what, I can do better, you're right, give me a chance, I'll show up on time, I'll finish our sessions on time, I'll get back to where I was with you a few months ago. I'm sorry, I need to work on some things, but I'll get there. And give them a chance. But if they're not willing to do that, then I would leave. And again, this is why it's important to keep that trainer and client relationship professional and not become close friends and hang out and go to the bar and all these things. Because then when situations like this arise, it gets very awkward. Anyway, so that's it for this week's No Filter Q&A. This episode will be going up on Tuesday, September the 26th. As a reminder, if you have any questions related to your diet, training, or supplementation, please feel free to email me at nick@foreverfitperformance.com. Another reminder, we have a long weekend coming up again here across Canada. So, Grizzly Grabbers on sale. Usually sell for $45 a pair. They will be selling for $40 a pair or 2 pairs for $70, $35 a pair. Our Grizzly Grabbers come in large, medium, and extra large. So if you'd like to order a pair, please email me, nick@foreverfitperformance.com, DM me on my Instagram account, or pick up a pair at the gym next time you're at gym downtown or in Burnaby. Thank you all for watching. Thank you guys for supporting the channel. Thank you for supporting my business, and I will see you all next week. Bye for now.